So,
hello.
Different story time.
Now we have to change the subject to things that are acceptable for other people. Yeah.
That's right. And if you want to know what the unacceptable stuff is, guys, join the cohort, join the Chiron crew, and you get to hear those stories. We're just not putting them out on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Discoverability is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
We're gonna leave Rory's cyberbullying tendencies out of the conversation.
I don't give compliments. I don't give insults. I just describe what I see.
Oh yeah, right. Completely neutrally from a place of deep indifference.
Malcolm, when do we schedule your counseling session for your online bullying?
So what I do is I just go in the corner and cry, and after I finish cutting myself, it all just feels better.
Right?
Yeah.
People don't give enough credit to how good cutting yourself can feel.
It's true.
No. Having recently gotten stitches, it doesn't feel good.
You just didn't do it right.
You didn't even do.
I did it really right according to the doctor.
You didn't even do the stitches yourself. So who are you to talk?
Things I am not qualified to do. I don't do electrical, plumbing, or stitches. I don't do those things.
That's fair. And if you've never stitched yourself up or cut yourself open on purpose to remove something that wasn't supposed to be there, then
I might have done that one, but that was minor.
I've got some pictures of a hotel room bathroom that looks like there was a serial killer in there.
What did you do?
Are we starting the stories now? Is that what we're doing?
I did a little home surgery because it needed to be done.
Yeah, I definitely carved a cyst out one time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're here talking about times we did stupid stuff. This is a discussion of mistakes, foibles, dropped passes, fuck ups, and just general dumbness that we have engaged in, of maybe the self-defense flavor, but personal surgery also can apply. So I'm gonna start with Paul. We're gonna end with Rory because I don't think I've got a better story than him about messing up.
So go ahead. Stories, yeah. I fucked up so many times.
Go ahead, Paul.
It's funny when you mentioned this topic, Malcolm, mine did not go to street stuff because I largely talked or avoided my way out of all the dumb shit that my friends did in Boston for the most part. Yeah. So, and notice I said my friends did. It was never me. I never had anything to do with any of those things.
No.
Right. I think early on in running my own school and pushing, perhaps teaching yellow belts Tomo Nage was slightly oopsie when somebody popped their collarbone because they hadn't quite learned the ukemi from it, 100%, and the person applying the throw did not 100% know how to direct the student to land the throw in not a street format and crunch.
Wait, no, so you mean the throw was deeply successful?
I mean, the throw was bang on exactly what you would want to see in feudal Japan in a battlefield, and unfortunately not so much on a mat with newer students. You're young and excited. You do stupid things.
All right, let me see. I've got a bunch of dumb shit. I definitely completely ignored all warning signs one time, and somebody told me to say it to their face, and I walked up and said it to their face, and they punched me, and I was surprised. And I don't know why I was surprised. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. And mind you, this isn't like just the, say it to my face, calm, relaxed demeanor. Just say it to my face. And I was like, okay. You're a bitch. Boom. Like,
the way I thought it was going to go.
That wasn't fun. It was, it was a dumber moment. It was a dumber moment. And it's funny because it's like one of those built-in guy dumb moments. If you grow up in certain places, you're supposed to walk up and you train your flinch away, because if anybody ever does this to you, you train yourself to sit there like, I'm not scared of you. So you're preparing yourself to get punched in the face on purpose. Yep. I will nobly accept your fist. That sounded weird. Anyway, point being that it was very, very dumb. I kind of dared him to, and then he did. And it's probably not my dumbest story. We're saving that for the later call, but it was definitely dumb. Rory, batting cleanup with the best story out of all of us. Proceed.
I don't know if it's the best. It was huge for me, and it's one of those I think I might be able to tell it like it was funny, but it wasn't. It was just really stupid. And I'd done well enough at work. This is back when I was with the sheriff's office and I was a deputy, I wasn't a sergeant, that they would tend to give me the really bad modules and I fix them and fine tune them. And this one, there were a whole bunch of stuff going on. It was one of our close custody. And there was this one guy's in for multiple rapes. He's about to get sentenced, so he's about to go to prison. And I've been watching him shake down other inmates for the commissary. So it's like, you know, I'd become aware of it. I needed to get a certain amount of information before I could actually make it a charge and send it to the hole. So it's like, so I'm on this day going, okay, so he's going to do this. He's going to shake down this guy. When he does that, I'm going to cuff him. And so everything happened exactly as I predicted. And I go up, have him show me the stuff. He has some commissary that's not his. And then the fucker swung on me out of nowhere. and I did well, and it was fine. I did a hair hold takedown. And so I'm in this, he's kind of down on all fours. I'm behind him. I've got his hair. He's got so much fucking jerry curl in his hair. It's like slipping through my hands. And like I have to just slip it and I can't get enough control to actually get handcuffs on or do anything other than try to hang on and get my grip back and hang on and get my grip back. Fortunately, I had enough reputation, and this is not reputation about being a badass, it's reputation about not being a dick. Then when I told everyone else back off, the inmates didn't decide to jump in on his side. Also, he was a dick. I hated him. So that was being whenever you're in a fight, be the lesser of two assholes. So I'm sitting there and nothing's happened. This goes on for minutes. And then finally one of the escorts, one of the runners out there sees that I'm involved in me. So he calls in on the radio and and then other officers get there and we get him cuffed and get him down. And I do the paperwork and Kent Beach. And I've been grateful for this forever because, I'm writing the report and this is, I've been doing the fight. I'm not even shaking. It's just, I'm writing the report. And Kent comes in and goes, "Hey, want to talk to you?" I go, Cool, Sergeant. What? And he goes, "When did you forget you were an officer?" And it's like, what do you mean? When did you see this coming? I knew this was going to happen. I've been planning this for like 3 days. Cool. So why didn't you tell anybody? What do you mean? Why didn't you call for backup? You knew this was going to happen. Why didn't you set it up in advance? It's like, what do you mean? When did you fucking forget you were an officer? You've been running this module like you were a tank boss. And I've been watching you do this for the last 2 months. You forgot. You aren't alone. You're part of a team. And it was one of those, and I had gone completely native. I had completely forgotten on a really deep level I was an officer. And he was exactly right. I was handling it like a tank boss.
For people who don't know, a tank boss is an inmate who runs a particular environment.
Yeah, I was running it like a bad guy, not like a good guy. And I needed someone I respected who was that engaged to call me on my bullshit. So it's one of those, I think there's probably a way I could tell this where it would sound funny, but it wasn't funny. It was dumb. And the correlated that much later in my career, after I was a sergeant, one of the reasons I decided I had to get out and go to Iraq, had some inmates call it, "We've got a guy barricaded in his cell. He's covered the windows with, you get your toilet paper wet, you put it on the windows so you can't see inside." And I didn't ask for any more information. I didn't ask for backup. I just handled it myself because I was bored, because I was so fucking complacent that I thought it would be more challenging to do a solo cell extraction without even looking up who the inmate was. I didn't know how big it was. I was just, and it was, everything went fine. And that one, the way it went was a funny story, because that's the one where I used the magic word and it actually worked. So it's like, so the story, what happened is like, I knocked on the door and is that all the harder you can kick him? I'm not kicking. It's so I opened the door because I could tell from his voice he was at the other corner of the cell, and took down the toilet paper and shut the door again so I could see him. It's like, all right. And I did know his name because I got it from Florida. Mr. Nichols, what's going on? It's like, I got this weapon because he'd made this mace for himself, and I'm just going to take as many of you. I'm coming in. Well, please give me the weapon. Fuck you. And I said, Mr. Nichols, I said, please. Oh, all right then. And so I opened the door and he handed me the weapon. And it was hilarious. That part was hilarious, but it was one of those afterwards again, because I got in the habit of debriefing myself afterwards. It's like, what the fuck was I thinking? And I done it just because I was getting bored. I wanted, and that's stupid. That gets people hurt. That gets other people hurt. That gets unnecessary force. That gets excessive force. That's where all that shit happens. And I had fallen into that trap. So
I'm trying to remember where I read it from. It was old. It was a long time ago. It was talking about how on the spectrum from like rank newbie, don't know what you're doing wrong, to seasoned vet, the actual most dangerous thing on there is complacent veteran. Because seasoned newbie is on high alert and might screw up because they're over anxious, but complacency kills faster than anything else.
Absolutely. And I had completely fallen into that. So.
And for everybody watching, this is that moment in time where Rory's supposed to like, I got Randy's voice in my head being like, this is not meant to be cool stories. This is meant to be how we effed up and got training scars or scars of some variety. And here to remind other people, don't make these mistakes. Borrow wisdom, right? You can borrow wisdom.
Yeah.
Or rent it at least. I mean,
that's actually fair. I like that better.
We'll put it out for free. It's not rented.
For me, a big part of it is also just remembering that a lot of the experienced, skilled people that you know or that you're learning from didn't get to be experienced or skilled because they have always made exceptional decisions. A lot of the experience and the skills comes from decisions that maybe they could have made better ones or maybe could have done differently. And everybody has those moments. It's about whether or not they take them and use them effectively. Rory had a moment where he realized, I am fucking up. Let me do something different. Let me take myself out of this equation so that I don't get somebody hurt. Versus somebody who could have been, smoking his own press clips and decided, well, I'm good enough that it worked out anyway, so who gives a shit? I'm going to stay here and keep cowboying. I think the thing that should make the utility of the story stand out is how I learned from it. Not just that I had a stupid moment. I mean, shit, that's not novel. Everybody has stupid moments. But for example, in Paul's case, he stopped teaching people throws that were going to break people's collarbones. In my case,
I still teach the throw. I just do it later in their curriculum.
Yeah.
Fair enough. He adjusted when he teaches people to break their friends' collarbones.
Yes.
I stopped walking up to people and saying what I said from a distance to their faces with my hands down. Everybody learns.
And I went to Iraq assuming that if the danger was higher, I would get less complacent.
I like that Iraq was the solution for making dangerous decisions.
I didn't say you made a good adjustment. I said you made an adjustment.
Well, going back to what you said, is no one learns this stuff by making good decisions. The best self-defense people I know have avoided ever getting into situations where the fight. In Malcolm's analogy, they've used the steering wheel so much they've never had to use the brakes, and God forbid they never had the
yes, I heard last night, Malcolm, how much Rory likes the car analogy. So for those watching right now who hasn't seen that, make sure you go watch it on YouTube. It's not on Facebook, it's on the Chiron YouTube page.
Yeah. It's an amazing breakdown, but that's, you can get addicted to the airbag.
It's
Rory,
fun. It's fun. That's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of this shit. As much as these stories are stupid, it's fun. The problem is it's one of those things where it's fun until it's not. And it's fun problem. And then the problem is huge. So
I don't.
Two friends I know of after I left are permanently injured. I mean, the one I feel super bad because he's a good kid. I always liked him as a friend. And I go back for a retirement party, and he's essentially, it looks like a really bad case of cerebral palsy, but it's just for being so badly that there's permanent brain damage, which affects his whole body. And it's like, and that's, so it's like you said, it's fun right up until it's not fun. Winning is almost always fun, but if you're going to win all the time, you're an idiot.
We gotta switch over, but
All right.
I just had a thought occur to me, Rory, and check my math on this one.
So you want to stop right now and then save it for the other thing?
Well, maybe we continue this thought into the next group, and next call, or next part of the call. I'm suddenly realizing, you know, a correlation among my friends and peers who have been, we'll say, in the force professional job for a extended period of time. They seem to, whether they got lucky in doing this or whether it went catastrophically wrong, they seem to have all had that like fuck it moment where you called it potentially going native, and they just were too annoyed by the situation to make a good decision. So perhaps, you know, our secret squirrel friend grabbed a shotgun out of somebody's hand and was like, give me that, and got lucky because did not take the business end of it. So with that in mind, for anybody curious,
do we have comments on the FB?
Jay won't make it to the call afterwards. That's it for right now. A lot of likes, but nobody really commenting. You guys on Facebook, you have to share your oops stories. So
Okay, we got to switch the other one, right?
you got to switch to the other one. So thank you guys very much for joining us, and we'll see you guys later.
See you later. Bye.